I cannot believe I'm filming this video and I'm smiling because my team is living to see another day. I mean, I was in the first court. I completely accepted the fact that the season was on. I watched this team for 82 games and I've seen them go down by big in the first half and not have a lot of fight to come back and win a game. They did it today. Oh boy, they did it today. And we're looking forward to Miami on Friday. But the only problem with that is our best player is not coming to Miami with us. Man, DeMar DeRozan's daughter has to go back to school and she was one of the main reasons why we won tonight. Man, so I'm a little bit scared because we meet that screaming in the background. Now, overall, it was just a very weird experience because we all were watching this game and we heard the screams in the background, but nobody knew exactly what was coming from. It reminded me of, and if you watch baseball during the WBC, it reminded me of the first game of the WBC. There was this guy, and I think he was representing Cuba, where he was in the back with a blowhorn for the entire game. And all the Twitter is like, somebody kicked that man out. And that's what it felt like until we found out that as DeMar DeRozan was not. And they're like, there's a literal 0% chance to get kicked out of the game. DeMar DeRozan, the all-time leading scorer of franchise history. And now people say, oh, she was a civilian. Then maybe she don't matter. First of all, no. I don't think you would because it's a sporty event. People are yelling and screaming all the time, but because it's against your team, you think that person has been kicked out. Either way, she was very, very critical. And today's win. And Pascal Siakam came to the podium afterwards and he mentioned that he didn't even recognize that was going on. And that's probably some truth. I'm assuming that because there's so much going on within the game that these players don't even think about the outside noise. But whether they heard it or not, they shot 50% for the free throw line, and they should have won this game. This is an epic hit last for the Toronto Raptors. There's no way around it. They were up by 19 points. If you're just looking at the box score without looking at the final score, this is a game that you win, and I'll explain why. Now, neither of these two teams are good three-point shooting teams. That's a fact. But then this game, the Toronto Raptors made 4 more threes on their efficiency. Again, the attempted 14 more free throws. They got 8 more offensive boards. 14 more boards in general. They won the assist battle and they lost by 4 points. Usually, this big of discrepancy on the free throw shooting and on the glass is enough to tell you what team won if you can't look at the final score. But they melted down. They did. Zach LaVine in third quarter turned into Michael Jeffrey. And I'm just feeling good because I didn't have a lot of hope. It's a funny thing because the playing is basically 2 fan bases that have been put through the ringer where I've watched all 82 games of the Bulls this season. Toronto Raptors fans has watched all 82 games in their favorite team. They're telling me that the Bulls are going to win because their team is trash. I'm telling them that the Raptors are going to win because our teams are trash. And it's just 2 fan bases that are like done with their favorite team, but still rooted for them, going against each other. And the reason why I wasn't very optimistic about my team is not just because, again, I've watched them 82 times and I've seen it in a lot of cases they don't come out with a lot of fight. Democracy has struggled against the Raptors all season long. And some of those games, Zach LaVine didn't play at all. And I think that mattered. You know, Zach LaVine, of course, again, almost at 40 tonight. But DeMar DeRozan and Ed struggled in the games that we played against them. They had the size and the rebounding to win majority of those games. And again, they did that today. They beat us on offensive last day. They beat us on a defensive glass. And I just thought with the length and athleticism across the board that they were going to win this. And in the first quarter, this is how it is to be a Bulls fan. And I'm sure some of y'all can relate with y'all favorite teams. We're like, you watch the first half of the first quarter about your team. And because it's not going good, you kind of detach yourself from the results. You know what I'm saying? I was already thinking, okay, what does offseason look like for us, man? Because, let's be real, I was making videos about the Bulls making trades this February. They made no trades whatsoever. So I'm thinking about this offseason like, okay, how can we make some money? Here, do we trade this player up? And then in the second half again, Zach LaVine really turned it up, and I was happy to see even though Patrick Williams ended with only 10 points and 33% shooting. I think he was critical today. And again, the shots were not falling, but the defense was there. And I feel like this was this is so stupid to say because you may end it with 10 points or 33% shooting. But his feel in this game felt very impact. He and the guys on our podcast put together all NBA and all the awards, whatever. And I think all of us had Alex Caruso on the first team. I remember looking through some comments and they're like, what are y'all talking about? Alex Caruso, first team. If you watch this game, you recognize all of that. Yeah, he's always going to get a couple fouls and you're like, come on, Alex. But like for the most part, he was all over the place. And that's something because in the very early in this game, Pascal Siakam was giving him the work. The boys are a small team. I mean, they started to murder Rose and he's the 4. But like they're a small team. The mother Rose is a shooting guard in most cases. But the way the NBA is going, he gets sladdled to the forward in the cages. Alex Caruso had the Pascal Siakam assigned and Pascal was giving that man the work. But eventually, we figured it out, and that's not something Billy has done. Notoriously, making adjustments at halftime and the team having a fight. And maybe it is that the back is against the wall. If we do not win this game, that we do not play another game until October next year or October in a couple months. I'm just happy that we won. Now, what happens on Friday against Miami? I don't know. But even if we win that one, what happens against the Bucks? We know what's going to happen. But it's cool to root for your favorite team. Even if you know that the outcome is going to be losing, we know at 90% of us, 95% of us are going to walk out this season with an L on our record at the end. It's going to end in an L. Most of some of y'all already got that. But it's about the time you have. And I was really having a lot of fun down the stretch in this game. So, shout out to the Martyr Rose and his family for coming out and helping us win. And Friday should be fun. Bro, Friday should be fun. Jimmy Butler always tried to get his little revenge against Chicago after they trade him away. And they don't look good either. So, it's about to be another battle with two fan bases looking at each other saying, our team sucks. Y'all got this. No, our team sucks. Y'all got this. And we'll see what team ultimately ends up winning. I would say so far the playing has been an absolute success. Every single one of these games has been down to the wire. Some of them, of course, way uglier than others.